The Korea Meteorological Administration has said that the 7.6 magnitude quake that struck Japan's west coast caused minor tsunamis in waters off South Korea's east coast province of Gangwon on Monday evening.
기상청은 일본 서해안을 강타한 규모 7.6의 지진으로 인해 월요일 아침 우리나라 강원 동해안에 소규모 지진해일이 발생했다고 밝혔습니다. This was one of the biggest news stories earlier this week.
Right.
The earthquake that struck Japan, but it seemed to have affected us somewhat as well.
Right. So South Korea reported a tsunami reaching as high as 85 centimeters in parts of the East Sea on Monday. And of course, it follows the 7.6 magnitude quake that struck Ishikawa in Japan's Noto Prefecture in Japan's west coast on New Year's Day. About 4 hours after the quake, a tsunami wave measured at about 85 centimeters at its highest point was observed off the port of Mukho in the eastern coastal city of Donghae, about 182 kilometers east of Seoul, and that was about at 8:35 p.m. on Monday. And the major quake caused tsunamis of a smaller scale in waters off South Korea's east coast province of Gangwon on Monday evening, with nearby cities of Sokcho and Samcheok experiencing waves as high as 45 centimeters and 33 centimeters respectively. And the KMA issues tsunami warnings when the maximum vertical height of a wave reaches 50 centimeters, although they do say that waves at 20 to 30 centimeters can still cause a lot of damage.
Right. It's not every day that we see tsunamis happening around our coastlines, right?
Yeah, it's definitely, not, we don't get tsunami warnings very often here in Korea. So, but the earthquake that happened in Japan, it was a pretty big one. We mentioned it was a 7.6 magnitude quake. So it's definitely affecting the waters off of South Korea's east coast as well.
Indeed. Well, let's have a look at the first expression, and that is to strike.
Right, to strike, it means, when in this term, we're talking about a disaster. It could also mean something like a disease or other unwelcome phenomenon when it occurs suddenly and has a harmful or damaging effect.
네. 여기서 일단 지진을 주어로 보고 있고요. 그 지진이 일본의 웨스트코스트를 어떻게 했느냐. 강타했다. strike 했다. 과거 형태로 struck라고 합니다. 자, there were minor tsunamis along the coastline here in Korea.
Yeah,
So what's that?
yeah. So minor, we also talk about major, minor. So minor, we're talking about something that is inferior in importance, size, or degree. Something major would be the opposite. So you could say that something minor would be something that is smaller. Something major would be something that is a little bit bigger. So minor, something that's comparatively unimportant, not so serious, or not involving the risk to life.
minor가 이렇게 형용사로 쓰였을 때 소규모라는 뜻이 되겠고요. 명사로 쓰는 경우도 있어요. 그럴 때는 a minor, 미성년자라는 뜻이 있습니다. 그렇다고 해서 성년을 a major라고 하지는 않죠.
Not in that case, yeah.
No, that's right. 쓰나미는 지진해일이고요. 다시 한번 헤드라인 읽어보겠습니다. The Korea Meteorological Administration has said that the 7.6 magnitude quake that struck Japan's west coast caused minor tsunamis in waters off South Korea's east coast province of Gangwon on Monday evening. All right, let's move on to the second headline.